Welcome to my YNR daily slash multiple days slash sometimes weekly week recap. Before I get started, everybody, stop it, camera. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. But let's dive right in. You know what? It's Young and the Restless. So, not a whole lot of movement here. A lot of it's the same conversations, just on a different day. Oh my goodness. Let's start with okay, Audra comes to clear out her office, and she actually is putting feelers out to see if Nikki changed her mind about letting her go. Because, Tucker had already said he really didn't know what he was going to do. And she knows she can't count on Tucker. Well, Nikki's like, no, I didn't change my mind about firing you unless you're willing to go to London. See, she's still sticking to that madness. Madness. So Audra's like, well, no, I'm really going to have to decline that. And so Nikki's like, well, like I said, I'll give you a glowing recommendation. And Audra leaves. As soon as she leaves, what does Nikki do? Jack, Audra was here. Jack, I took a drink. Jack, do you think I made a mistake, Jesse? No, you point blank proudly told her, no, you didn't change your mind. Own it, Nikki, or take her back. Nikki's getting nothing done. Nothing. Anyway, so Audra then runs into Tucker. She invites him over to society, and they sit down. And she actually didn't get what she wanted, but she wanted from him. But she was all compliments, just like she was with Nikki. I've learned a lot from you, and I was looking forward to future mentorship from you. Mhm. Then she turned around and told Tucker the same thing with her charming smile and yes. And Tucker's like, Audra, please, you're up to something. Matter of fact, you can keep my coat, you know, and he walks away from her. So then she goes inside, and Nate is just like, what are you doing? What are you doing with him? You know you can't trust. See, Nate and Audra, did I miss something, everybody? I'm almost 100% sure they still have not slept together yet, or did they? And I just don't remember it. I can't remember. Recap fans, let me know. I think they got close to it and Tucker interrupted them. But I thought later they ended up going back up to her room and doing the deal. We'll see. I don't know. And look, it ain't that important for me to really find out, right? But Nate is acting like a jealous boyfriend, which is why I'm sure they didn't. Because he would say, you know what? I thought you and I were working on something. See, he's not saying none of that because they haven't done anything. So Victor tells Victoria and Nick about Jordan, that, there was a fire at the prison and some inmates have escaped, but they haven't accounted for all of them because some were burned, so they don't know if Jordan had escaped or not. And initially they're like, no, we got it. Does mom know? Oh my goodness, she must be, beside herself. No, I decided not to tell your mother. Why would he do that? Jordan, we all know if she is alive, she's coming for Nikki first, right? We all know Victor's security team can't keep anybody safe and secure, and they never have been able to. So I'm going to sit there and tell my family, and they went along with it's better she stay in the dark so Jordan can ambush her. I just shook my head, shook it, right? So Victoria goes to see Nikki in her office, and Nikki's putting on hello, darling, and she asked her about Claire, and then Vicky's like, Mom, This is a lot. You let go of Audra. Running Newman Media, that's a two-person position, right? It's a lot. No, are you trying to say I can't handle it? And she goes, no, mom, that's not what I'm saying. She said, but look, why don't we do this? Let me come and be your COO until you find an assistant. No, Victoria, no. The whole reason you're taking a leave of absence is to get to know your daughter. Well, my question is she in Cole with Claire more than 20 minutes a day? I honestly don't know why Victoria's not at work. She could fit a visit to Claire in at lunchtime. They are not with Claire 24/7. And a lot of times they go at separate times. There is no reason Victoria's not working. Okay. But I was happy that she, out of concern for her mother, offered that support and assistance because, Victoria always thinks she's better than everybody. And that job would have been beneath her, right? Beneath her. But Nikki, of course, turned her down because she could handle it all. And then we have Kyle with his smug self, and Diane picked up on it right away. There's a project that should be under Diane's umbrella that they had discussed. Well, Kyle got to work early and did the whole thing. And in front of Jack, she goes, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get to work on the Spencer project. Yeah, I'm just making up that name, right? And Kyle says, oh, well, that's one of the things I knocked out when I got in here early. All done, everything is in order. Now you can just do something else. You're welcome. And she looks at him like, oh, like, who asked you to do that? And you're welcome. And so Jack was like, ooh, like teamwork, but Jack's also preoccupied with Nikki. So Kyle says, look, oh, I've got a meeting to get to and blah, blah, blah. So he scoops up his stuff and he walks out. And Diane says, Jack, did you sense something from Kyle? And Jack's like, what? No, I didn't sense anything from Kyle. She says, by Kyle finishing the paperwork, on the project that's for me, I think he's trying to show me up. I think he's trying to show that he still should have this job and he can do a better job than me. And he goes, no, Diane, Kyle is perfectly on board with you having this job and blah, blah, blah. No, no, don't read too much into it. So when she walks out the office, Kyle is still in the outer office. And she goes, oh, good, Kyle, good you're here. I want to talk to you. And she says, well, thank you for doing the project, but you know what? I had it covered. And Kyle, I'm kind of getting a sense of you did it to show that you can do a better job than me. She didn't hold no punches. And he looked at her and he goes like, no, that's not why I did it. She goes, look, I understand you're disappointed that your father did not choose you. I am surprised that he chose me because I was rooting for you to get the job. She says, however, I am capable of handling things that I'm supposed to handle. If I need some input and assistance, I will ask you. And so he goes, understood, understood. But now I got to get to the meeting. And his look on his face as he's walking away is like, should have been mine. See, Kyle is disgruntled because he is self-centered. So that was those two, and Nikki's at her office and she's checking she's Newman Media. So guess what? All media reports she's pretty much going to get, which is another reason why Victor said I wanted to keep it from your mother made no sense. whatsoever. She's reading it. Oh no, oh no, oh no. She could be out. She could be out. Ugh. Versus Victor that night while they were at dinner, telling her, reassuring her that she's safe. So what does Nikki do? She jumps herself up and goes to the bar. Of course she does. Of course she does. Right? And then we have, let me see, the next day on Thursday, we have Ashley. Ashley went to Paris. She, of course, finds the waiter that was working that day who remembers the incident. And he says, oh, yeah, there was a gentleman that got very angry. Ooh, it's very rude to you. And she goes, yeah, yeah, you remember. See, Tracy, see? And he goes, I really felt a little bad for you, the way he spoke to you. She goes, yes. Oh my goodness. His anger and in his rage, the way he broke that glass and threw that chair. And the guy looks at her and he goes, no. There were no broken glass and no chair was thrown. He was shouting at you. He said, but no, ma'am, no broken glass. And she goes, no, then you're not remembering right. No, because he did break a glass. And he goes, I would remember broken glass. And so she's like, he says, I'm sorry. And he walks away. So she looks at you. Now she's getting frazzled. See, I knew it. No, this is why would he lie? He is lying. And Tracy says, Ashley, why would he lie? Tucker's gotten to him. Tucker has paid him to lie. So the guy comes and he's putting a napkin on the table. And she goes, hey. She walks over to him and Tracy's like, Ashley's gone over there. Did Tucker McCall pay you to lie? And he looked at her and Tracy's like, oh my God. She goes, cause you're lying. And he goes, no, ma'am, madame, I am not lying. And he's like, ooh. And he turns and he walks away. And so Tracy's like, so she goes, Ashley, you have to calm down. Tracy, Tucker has paid him off clearly to make me seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm not, I gotta go. I gotta get some air. Tracy's like, Ashley, no, wait. And Ashley takes off. So then she's out on the street. And the funny thing is the way they filmed it is like she looked like she was in another time dimension with the coloring. And she calls Tucker. Tucker picks up the phone and he goes, oh, so I know you must be at the bistro talking to the staff. So then I'm sure you got the right report on what happened. And in my mind, I thought Tucker paid that guy because Tucker would do that. But part of me is like, no, Ashley is clearly mentally unstable now. And Tracy, before she left, she goes, Ash, I need you to calm down because you have that look in your eye and it's scaring me, honey. What look at my eye? What look at my eye? What are you talking? And she said, no, just calm down. Yeah, that look of you're going to need to be locked up like you have been before. Ashley has mental health issues. And why they're not getting her help, I do not know. I don't know. So Heather and Daniel were supposed to take Lucy to the museum, but Daniel's space, got a lot of work, so he says, but he's been daydreaming about the situation between him and Heather. And he goes, oh no, I got work. I'm swamped. And she goes, that's the same thing mom said. But you know what? You both are acting weird. And I guess she had called Heather, or Heather came over to just take Lucy to the museum. And so Lucy says, are we all going together? And they look at each other like, and she goes, why are you both looking at each other like that? Something is going on. And they're like, no, Lucy, no, no, we're just both. And Heather says, you know what, talk to your dad about, is he taking you or what? And he goes, Luce, I've got work. And so she goes, they said, Lucy, you know what, can we talk? Daniel says, can I talk to your mom for a minute? And so Lucy goes into her alleged room, but guess what? Lucy's in that little hallway listening. The door's cracked and she's listening to their conversation. So she hears the whole thing about how they slept together. And Heather's concern is, why are you putting us on hold so you could tell Lily, yet you haven't flown out there to tell Lily, I'm only going to wait so long. See, already putting demands on Daniel. Our daughter can sense there's tension between us. Well, the only way there won't be tension is if, we could be together. I mean, how can I be this close to you and not touch you? And I mean, all this talk she's doing. And he's like, Heather, I'm not doing this on purpose. But and she goes, and then you've even put a stop to us moving forward until you tell Lily. He goes, that's because I'm not a cheater. And I am in a relationship with Lily, as it is. What we did, we should not have done until I'm not in a relationship. He goes, I'm not that kind of, and she goes, well, you know what? That is why I respect you. But still, we deserve, we, right? My whole thing is, why would you not just get on a plane and tell her? See, that's what's ridiculous. She's not in the headspace. What headspace? She wasn't trapped in a wildfire. Her daughter's fine. There is no reason Lily can't hear this news. So Lucy's hearing this whole thing, and then they're professing their love for each other. So she's back there. Oh, she just dancing like, oh, I did it, Parent Trap. I got it going on. And her elbow hits the door and it closes, and she's like, and they look and they said, Lucy, you can come out now. Oh, she comes out so excited. They said, were you eavesdropping? Yep, and it was worth it. You two are back together again. And she goes, but no, we're getting there. Your father has to talk to Lily first. We don't want Lily hurt. Oh, I understand that. But you guys are back together again. And she this and the other. Well, guess what Lucy has, everybody? Remember, Lucy has the picture of Heather laying on Daniel. Lucy is going to be the one to tell Lily. She's going to tell her on social media. She sure is. She's going to do something. My parents are back together again. Oh, she's going to. Because, see, she says, thank you very much. I speeded things up. I knew you two loved each other, but without me, you wouldn't be this far. She's going to go even further than she ever should. Right? So, we got Nikki. Remember, I told you after she read that article, went to the bar. Jack is opening the door to his office, getting ready to leave, and Nikki comes stumbling in. Stumbling in. Woo! And he goes, Nikki? So, of course, he talks to her. What triggered you this time? Blah, blah, blah. And she tells him about Jordan. And Jack ends up walking after they talk. Same. See, now that the conversations are the same. He walks her back to her office and he's talking to her. And Victor walks in. Oh, no. He takes her to a meeting, which was really, really nice of him. He takes her to an AA meeting. And after the AA meeting, he walks her to her office. And they're talking. Why he just felt he should stay or even go in the building. And Victor's at the door. What are you doing here, Jack Abbott? And why are you here talking to my wife? He goes, well, for one thing, Nikki and I are friends, okay? But First you were asking questions about our family, then Nikki told you things, and now here you every time I look around, you're around my wife. And he goes, and so Nikki's looking like, "Oh," which is a mess she's causing by not telling Victor, right? And so Jack says, Nikki and I ran into each other at an AA meeting. AA, what are you doing at an AA meeting? He goes, AA meetings are for all sorts of addictions. And remember, I suffered from my um, prescription pill, what he called it something else, addition, opioid addition, or whatever it was, prescription pills. And I still go to AA meetings. Oh, but you just so happen to go to the same AA meeting that my wife was at. And so Jack says, you know what, Victor, let me tell you something. If it's one thing you don't do and won't do, you do not dictate my sobriety at all. And so he looks at Jack and he goes around him to Nikki and he tells her, what made you have to go to a meeting today, my darling? You said you were fine this morning. Uh, shouldn't she be going to meetings every day at this stage of her recovery? See, that's my whole thing. Is Victor is not even aware of her needs. They normally go every day until they get stronger, right? Nikki's the only one not going every day like she should. Nikki actually needs to have a private, be put in a private rehab facility so she could just get, you know, dried out, really. A very secure one so Jordan can't waltz up in there because all of a sudden Jordan would be one of the aides. How she would know where Nikki's at is beyond me. But anyway, um, they're just letting Nikki just fall apart in front of their eyes. And so she says, I needed it because of what I read in the media that Jordan could have escaped. And he turned and he looked at Jack. He goes, this is the time that Jack Abbott needs to leave. And Jack's like, you're 100% right, Nikki. Let's not let the next time we get together be because we run into each other at an AA meeting. And she says, you're right, Jack. We'll schedule lunch, right? We'll schedule some lunch together. And Victor's just looking. And then he's talking to Nikki about, I didn't want to. She goes, you know what? Last night when you got that call was regarding Jordan, possibly the fire, and Jordan could be on the loose. She goes, why wouldn't you tell me? Because I did not want to worry you, my darling. I've got everything under control. As Nikki gets jabbed with some kind of poison and drug on her way to the ladies' room, right? Yeah. Victor always has everything under control. When he doesn't, he never has. So anyway, they talk here, boy, I fast forward. And he says, but I don't like it that you are talking with that Jack Abbott. See, she should have put a stop to that and put him straight a week ago. And it wouldn't even be an issue anymore. It really wouldn't. It's an issue because Jack is her sponsor. He is buzzing around her like he's a bee with she honey, right? That's out of the ordinary, but it's ridiculous. So Jax goes back and he tells, Diane about it. And he goes, Victor walked in, Victor in, me and Nikki, I hate that she won't. And then she goes, he tells Diane, I had to come up with a good lie. I hate that she won't. Just tell Victor the truth. And Diane says, well, that would be the best, but I do know Victor. And it would be war. And he goes, but it's going to be war when Victor does find out, because he is going to find out. It's just a matter of time. So, they comfort each other and talk to each other. And we have Audra, of course, to really lure Tucker into her web. She pretended that she was upset with him. What do you want, Tucker? And I don't like the fact, no, she's coming over trying to be nice. at first when she comes in the door, but Tucker ain't in the mood because Ashley had just called him telling him, I know you paid that waiter. I know you did, and it's not going to work. And he's like, why would I pay the waiter? I know what happened. And the waiter obviously told you what happened. So he's in a funk. And Audra comes in and she goes, let me guess. Ashley. And so Tucker's telling her the story. Yeah, she went to Paris to see what version of the story is true. And she found a waiter. And the waiter told her the version that's true, that I did not get violent. And he goes, and now she called saying, I paid the waiter. And Audra's like, did you? Look, that's up Tucker's alley, right? Did you? And he goes, I did not. And so he's just, he couldn't concentrate because she goes, you know what, Tucker? I don't even know why I came here. You're professing all this care and love for me, yet you're just totally consumed with Ashley. You can't think of nothing else. Not even me. She says, I will not be second. I will be first. So she snatches her bag and he goes, Audra, hold on. He tries to grab her bag and she's pulling on it. And he goes, no, no, you are first. You are, oh, you first, blah, blah, blah. Then he professes this, that, and the other. And then he pulls her in and they kiss. Oh, of course they kiss because I am number one. And so, of course, they end up hitting the sheets. But we all know Audra. Audra hit the sheets with Tucker. Then 3 hours from now, she'll call Kyle just to see see if she can remember what it was like. And then that night she'll call Nate and say, hey, let's get it on, Nate. That's Audra. So they hit the sheets. Their love scenes are so mismatched. It's not even funny. The chemistry absolutely is not there. It's not right. Now we have Connor. Connor is having issues, problems at the school, the special school he's going to. He's not keeping up. His grades have been slipping. He can't concentrate. He's not sleeping at night and he's hardly eating. And Chelsea's worried about it. Or is she? Now I'm going to ask you. Your 13-year-old who you're allowing to go to a boarding school, being raised by his teachers, your 13-year-old is now having bouts of depression issues. Yes, it is a school for kids like him, but guess what? Those teachers aren't his parent. And sometimes kids, and actually, see, I'm sorry, all the time kids need their parents. You know, I would never let my child go to a boarding school and be raised by people I do not know. And so Chelsea's like, well, she's talking to Billy, part of me, but you know what would Billy say? His little 8-year-old and 14-year-old, and she might be 10 now, Katie, and his 14-year-old's at boarding school. So what's he gonna say? Kids need to make their own decisions and they get in the college experience early. Living away from home, right? Come on now. And then when they come back for vacation, they wonder why them kids aren't listening to them. Well, that's because they've been making their own decisions all school year. I don't get it. So anyway, she goes, I want to just rush up there and look at my son and hold my son, let him know I'm here, and that I'm going to make everything okay for him for the rest of his life. Well, see, now that last part of the statement was fictitious and or fantasy land, right? But everything that she said she wanted to do as his mother, she should be doing. It's a cry for help, you know, to see, will my parents come? So Chelsea calls and tells Adam about it. And Adam's like, why wouldn't couldn't Connor call me? Well, Connor's closest to his mother. He always has been, Adam. And Adam's like, okay, no, no, no. This school is supposed to be able to, that's what they specialize in, is helping kids get through depression and their anxieties and issues. Obviously, school ain't working, you know. He goes, I need to go and I need to let my son know I'm there for him. Yes, yes, you should. Absolutely, positively, you should, right? So, Sally is dad, does her usual supportive, you're the best father in the world, blah, blah, blah. I fast forwarded them. So Chelsea calls Adam, and Adam says, or Adam called her, and he says, I am on my way to go see Connor. And she's like, wait, you are what? He goes, I'm going to go see, our son is having issues. Our son is in trouble. I'm going to go be there for him. And I'm like, Adam, don't you go anywhere. And don't you even talk to Connor until we talk first, until we decide this first. And he goes, I've already left a message for Connor and told Connor to call me. Don't pick up the, whatever she says. I'm on my way. Where are you? So he tells her. So she tells Billy, of course, Adam wants to do things his way. And I'm thinking, no, here's the thing. Oh, and she called the school and talked to, I guess, a teacher. I don't know who she talked to. And they're saying, oh, they're going to pay more, devote more time and attention to Connor. Try to get him to eat regularly and sleep. Wait, you're going to try to do all this? See, that's why I'm like, no, they need to go and look, see for themselves, get eyes on your son. Somebody could be bullying him. A lot of things could be going on. No, she's gonna talk him out of going. But she tells Billy, I just got confirmation from the school that Connor, they're gonna work with him and he needs to work this out on his own. No, he does not. That boy is 13 years old. No, he does not. Right? But trying to convince Adam, and Billy's like, yeah, I know that's gonna be hard because Adam wants to always do the wrong thing. Whatever he said about Adam, and I thought, oh, see, Chelsea, don't let him do that. Because if it's one thing, Adam is a good father to Connor. Okay. I almost want to say a better father than Billy is to Johnny and Katie. Billy is way hands off on them kids, even when they're not in boarding school. So, no, Billy is not the one to give Father of the Year advice. And then he has the nerve to tell Chelsea, do you want me to go with you for support? She goes, oh, no, no, no. That will set Adam off. That would set Adam off. So, we'll see where that goes. Come on now. And that's it. That was it. This very slow week. That was the recap for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I've only got a couple comments here at Comment Corner. And Belinda says, yay, you're back. Thanks for the recap. Yes, I was out of town on business. All lies and secrets going on between Nikki and Victor and Audra attempting to lie to Tucker. I know. First of all, Nikki is going to fall down that rabbit hole when she finds out that Jordan may be on the loose. Well, yes, she already found that out. She's going to feel betrayed. Her family knew and didn't warn her because it's going to be on the news. And it was on the news. A fire at a prison and some prisoners may have escaped. Absolutely. As for Audra, she thinks she knows Tucker so well because she learned a lot from him. Excuse me, y'all. Yes, Tucker taught her a lot, but he didn't teach her everything he knows. That is so true. The only thing Audra appears to have learned well from Tucker is lying and bed hopping. Ooh, she sure does. That's why Audra can't fool him with her schemes. LOL. Thanks again, recap lady. And then Vicky says, love your style. Um, think I'll subscribe to your channel. You're funny too. You're not subscribed, Vicky. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe to this YouTube channel. That's right. I think that is it. I did get some emails, some people saying they were glad I was back, and I want to thank you all for that. Let me see, do I have anything else any other comments that I can say? Yep, no, I got them all. Great. All right, everybody, that is it for the recap of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the 31st through the 2nd of February. I'll be back next week with my daily recaps of The Young and the Restless.